Hello and welcome to another Let's Play. Me, GamerWolfSix of Echo. Before we start, if you're interested in playing this game, you can get it for free on itch.io. But if you want to support the people that made this game and are making other games, then you can go through Patreon, $3 a month. So, on the last Let's Play, couldn't find Carl. Unlike on TJ's Roots, just wasn't there or was well hidden. Who knows? And Flynn confronted us, being like, hey, Leo's crazy. But not in the good ride or die kind of crazy way, more like just cray-cray. And Leo overheard that, a bit of it at least. And we went to the, we continued to try to look for Carl to no avail. Me and Leo went to the, it's not a bar, the little restaurant, cafe, something area where Janine is, and a crackhead confronted us. Like, I had to figure out what those words were. Apparently, there's somewhat derogatory word for Latino people, and then really derogatory word for Latino people. But yeah, then Leo just kind of slammed them on the table. Hyena. And then we had a couple of beers. I had 2. He had 10. Hyena. And now we're, I guess, walking back to Leo's house. So let me get my face in order. And let's start. Back up. As you walk back to Leo's house in silence, he occasionally brushes his tail up against my own. Up. I let him. He's mildly drunk, so he's sort of excused for now. I can read. I do have to push his muzzle away when he leans up against me for some support after his feet hit a sudden dip in the road. I'm busy trying to steady him when I hear footsteps pounding up behind us. Before I know it, Leo shoved me hard to the side, and I go stumbling into the weeds. Whirling around, I see a dark figure running off to the side from Leo. His attack aborted, as he saw the wolf had seen him. Oh, it's the crackhead. He comes back around, and I immediately see that it's Clint. And he's got a crowbar in his paw. My stomach drops as I look from him to Leo, who's got a giant smile on his face, like this is exactly what he wanted to happen. What the hell? Come on back for more, Clint. Clint doesn't say anything. Instead, he just screams and runs at Leo again. He's gone on that super paint huffing. Usually, I wouldn't be worried about Leo in a fight with Clint, but the crowbar and the fact that Leo can barely stand has me really worried. I wonder how it would be after 10 beers. Like, right now kind of thing. Because I've had quite a lot compared to that. I think, never mind. Anyways, fight. Leo backpedals, then ducks low and lunges forward, which I don't think Clint expects. His grunt is guttural, but to my surprise, he doesn't go down. And I'm not 100% sure if he got at us because gay stuff or because he really doesn't like Latino wolves. Instead, he grips the back of Leo's shirt before raising the crowbar and bringing down hard onto Leo's back with a solid, meaty thud. I gasp and cringe, starting to jog towards them with my tiny legs. Clint presses forward, and Leo trips over something, landing on his butt. Clint raises the crowbar again, and Leo raises a paw. For about 2 seconds, they play a game with Leo moving his paws around above his head, anticipating the swing. Clint, meanwhile, keeps trying to re-angle the crowbar so that Leo will miss. He doesn't get a chance though, because that's when I reach them. I'm not exactly a good fighter, considering I've never been in a fight before. But the idea of Leo getting his face beaten in with a crowbar provides me with a terror that spurs me on. I jump on his back, grab a hairful of the fur on his forehead, and yank it back as hard as I can. I guess I should have hit him or something, but it seems to work alright. His remaining teeth flash in the porch light, and I get a hot blast of his rancid breath as he snarls angrily. Suddenly, I'm sitting down on the asphalt, feeling like my forehead had just caved in. He must have somehow swung the crowbar back and hit me. I desperately rub at my head, imagining the skull shattering into a million pieces like an egg, but everything feels like it's still in shape. The fight is still going on, and now I can hear Leo snarling. It's not a sound that I've heard that often, but it's deep and way scarier than anything Clint could have imagined. I try to focus on the spots that I see their body. I try to focus on the spots that I see their bodies tangled together. I just couldn't read that sentence. When I do, I see that Clint is on top again, the crowbar raised, pointy and down, aimed at Leo's face. I start to crawl towards them, but there's no way I'm gonna make it. Again, the sound of something hard striking flesh, but this time, it isn't Clint hitting Leo. It's Clint that hisses in pain. At this time, My body's working against me. I had to sneeze. As he arches back, baring his fangs. There's a dark shape behind him, but before I can focus on it, Leo's massive paw smashes it into the side of his face. Let me read that again. Huh. Leo's not playing this time. In fact, it looks like he's put everything he had into that punch, and it sounds like the sound it makes is like a slab of beef being thrown against concrete. Clint's body visibly goes slack before he slumps down against Leo, only to be shoved roughly to the side. I curl up next to the wolf, and he looks over at me as I do. His paw immediately goes to my head to steady it as he looks close at my face. Also, was it saying that there was dark chase there? Fuck, did he hit you? That's when I realized that I have a massive headache and feels like it's full of water. I rub the spot that itches a bit right above my eyebrow, and my pads come away slightly dark and bloody. Fucking piece of shit. Leo sends a back fist into the side of the down to Clint's face. Hey, that's enough, Leo. That's when I remember that it was someone else that actually saved Leo. Okay. The voice is familiar, but it isn't until I look up at the source that I recognize Kudzu. I wonder if that's a reference to like a name of people from some place. You know, a name that's from some part of the world. He's breathing hard, and he's holding the crowbar that Clint dropped. The dark spots surround his eyes, blend in with the night, and accentuate how wide his actual eyes are. He looks spooked. What the hell are you guys doing? Or were? He sounds pissed, and I feel a little defensive. Hey, he tried to run up on us. Kazu's eyes flick over to look at me before focusing back on Leo. I thought we had this shit figured out. Why the hell are you fighting again? I don't really get why this Kudzu guy is freaking out so much. His nostrils flare with each breath. I guess him and Crackhead are connected somehow. You think he was the one that almost got his brains run through with a crowbar. Calm the fuck down. You know how Clint is. He wouldn't do half this crap he does if you didn't antagonize him so much. You say he was a bully, but from what I've seen, it's the reverse. It's hard to think Leo was a bully, but the way he was acting towards Clint in the diner was a bit much. even if it was Clint. I don't feel that much. Hey, if he can't take it, well, then maybe he shouldn't dish it, eh? Leo grins and sticks out a paw to Kudzu, who glares, but nevertheless reaches down to help him up. Sorry, it's been a couple hours since I last did this, but I was like, I want to read more. And I felt like I could do some. But, you gotta read. Or I gotta read. Or wanna read. Leo promptly pulls me up with him. As I get to my feet, a wave of dizziness instantly hits me, and I stumble into Leo. Fuck. See? Leo stares at me and looks into my eyes, worry etched all over his face. I'm fine. Just got a dizzy for a sec. That's not fine. Do you feel sick? Can you see straight? Seriously, I'm fine. Just give me a minute. Uchita, going to kill that hick when he wakes up. At that moment, Clint makes a snoring sound and starts to roll over. Leo's eyes flash to where he's laying, but Kudzu steps up between the two, still glaring. No, get the fuck back home and take care of the otter. I'm gonna see if I can keep him from trying to kill you later on down the road. Fat chance. He's been wanting to kill me since middle school. Clint starts to sit up, supporting himself with both paws as he's looking around. Go. Whatever. Leo turns back to me, and his eyes soften as he puts an arm around my shoulders. Come on, you might need to go to a hospital. Fine, really. The low tones of Kudzu's voice murmuring to Clint fades off as we stumble into the night. No, you're not fine. He hit you fucking hard. God damn that fucking idiot. He could have killed you. Put a paw back to the sore on my forehead and rub at it. Leo grabs my wrist. Don't do that. You'll infect it. Clean it up back at my place. I swear to God, I'm gonna use like all the hydrogen peroxide. I've used a lot recently. I'm not gonna leave my house without my gun again. Suddenly, Leo's face takes on an odd look. One sec. He makes as if he's ready for to. Fuck, I can read. I need to read slower, I guess. He makes as if to steady me with both paws, then stumbles off to the side of the road. He's gonna puke. It's dark, and I can't see him, but I sure as hell can hear him retch, followed by a splash. This happens about 3 more times before Leo, shakily, but more steadily approaches me from the darkness, a sheepish grin on his face. You okay? Yeah. Just had a little too much. I've been there before. Not so much the vomiting, but the having a little too much. Really? Leo, I knew you could down 15 cans and still walk. Hey, rolling around in a shit crazy with a crazy long tail sitting on you won't do your gut any favors. With a crazy long tail sitting on you? I don't understand that. Sure. Leo chuckles and wraps an arm around me again. Now this one feels more intimate, rather than just being there to keep me steady. I look in silence for a while, just enjoying the evening air. The temperature is always perfect here when the sun's gone. It gets me more annoyed, though, because I imagine we'd be having a much better time if Clint hadn't just tried to murder us. At least, that's what I imagine he was trying to do, since hitting somebody with a crowbar isn't exactly fucking around. Has it really gotten this bad between you and Clint? Leo squeezes me. It's always been this way. It looked like he was trying to kill you. Well, the gringo really hates me. Leo laughs, then falls silent for a while, ears pinned back. I guess he was angrier than usual. I think it's just that I might have pissed him off more than I usually do. I look up at him. About that, What he said to him back at the diner was really awful. You too? How can he expect not to get hit with that if he's going off about us and about me being a spick? Leo barks out a laugh. Talk shit, get hit, I always say. I don't know, man. What his dad did is different. It's not his fault, you know? Are you ever gonna hear about that? Hey, he might be fucked up, but he can still make a decision to be a complete dick to everyone, can he? I wish Jenna was here to help back me up on how that isn't exactly fair to Clint. Anyway, I think he was on something. Did you see how crazy he looked? He's always on something. And speaking of which, Leo steps slow, and I look ahead to see an isolated house further up the road. The porch light is on, and I see a skinny figure get out of the chair and start to walk up the front yard. Well, it wouldn't be Carl, though he said somebody's on something, but Carl's not skinny. Would it be Jenna? Flynn is on something usually, I guess. You know, mentally. TJ? I don't know. Let's see who it is. It's clear he means to intercept us, and I slow down with Leo as he draws closer. Duke? Leo nods at him. Okay. I was wrong. Because it's somebody completely different. The skinny weasel looks us both up and down, raising the paw to pull a drag from what looks like a cigar. I assume it's actually a blunt because it smells like Carl. He is patchy and unhealthy, looking as I remember him. Well, he preserved his gangly way. Not as torn up as Clint, but still bad enough to know he's done his fair share of dabbing meth. He doesn't say anything, and after a while, Leo clears his throat. Isn't it nice? He's here. Duke cuts Leo off, staring right at me, so I assume it's me he's talking about. Hi, Duke. I probably couldn't have said any more awkwardly. Leo steps forward, practically in front of me. Did you need something? Duke lets out a long stream of smoke towards us. Definitely blunt. Same shit's been happening to me, after you told me about it. Leo looks at him, looking politely puzzled, though I can see his tail twitch behind him. You've been seeing shit, and now I'm seeing shit. It's quiet for a few seconds, then Leo laughs. Well, maybe he left the drug cocktails? No, it's different. The shit I see, almost real. I saw him. He nods at me again, and for some reason, I'm starting to feel really uncomfortable. Leo laughs, and this time, it's much more forced. He starts pushing me along, further up the street. Sorry, Duke, but Chase is taken. Janice is still single, though. Duke follows us, walking along the dirt, while we stay on the asphalt. When did he get here? Leo doesn't say anything and keeps pushing me along. I can see Duke getting angrier, and I don't want another fight, so I finally butt in. I got here on Saturday. Is something wrong, Duke? Duke doesn't answer. He just stops and watches us go, a frown stretched across his face. Keep looking over my shoulder at him. He doesn't move, and he doesn't take his eyes off us. What the fuck? Stop looking at him, Chase. What is he talking about? I guess he's talking about the same otter that was just outside of Leo's place, I guess. Doesn't matter. Just keep moving and hope we don't run into any more of these psychos. I manage not to look back again, but I feel his eyes on the back of my neck the entire time. How are we doing time? Okay. Even though the instructions say to only take 2, Leo gives me 3 generic acetaminophen pills. After that, he takes me to the bathroom and starts cleaning the cuts on my forehead. I grimace against the sting of the rubbing alcohol. We really should take you to the ER. This might even need stitches. So does this town have an ER? I don't even think the town I lived in had an ER. It had a hospital, but it had an ambulance the town over kind of thing, as far as I knew. And there definitely isn't an ER in this town, though Peyton might not be too far away, I guess. I don't know. I lean my head into his paws because not having to hold it up myself feels good. Though if it isn't far, then we would have tried to keep in touch with Leo, you know, man? No, it's not bad. Besides, even if it is a concussion, they'll just send me home and tell me to get some rest, along with a $500 bill. I played football, I know, but you never know how serious it could be. I sigh and don't say anything, sighing it would be easier just not to argue. Leo starts to debate whether or not to shave the fur, but I finally get annoyed and tell him to get on with it. As he prods around, I can feel the area around the cut swelling. I wonder if I'm gonna get a black eye. Just slap some meat on it. I don't know where we get meat in this universe. Leo finally zaps back and starts putting everything back into the first aid kit. Wait. Leo glances at me questioningly. Aren't you hurt? He thinks for a second. I don't think so. I feel fine. I mean, turn around. I'd seen Clint hit Leo with the crowbar, and he'd hit him hard. Leo sighs before finally turning around, placing his paws on the sink as he stares into the mirror. I look at his back, the black shirt dusty from the dirt he had rolled around in. Carefully, I lift the shirt up his back. It's not as bad as I thought it would be. I can see the raised fur from a groin welt where the crowbar had hit, though. There aren't any cuts there, but I do see some spots of dried blood. You have a bunch of little cuts. I see smooth muscles under Leo's fur shift as he flexes them. Really? Must have been from the rocks on the road. I think my shirt came up a little while we were wrestling around. Give me the alcohol. Leo sighs again, but hands it over. And take off your shirt. He smirks at that, and slowly, purposefully, sensually strips his shirt off. I try to ignore him, but I'd be lying if I said I wasn't turned on by his body. It's been a long time since I last saw him shirtless, and he's kind of changed. He's thicker, broader in the shoulders and chest, the muscles smoother, and a little more filled out. I swallow, ooh, and start to dab the alcohol into the cuts. Makes no intention of feeling any pain indication, instead swishing his tail around and flicking it between my legs. Again, I don't know why, but Leo has a way of making you want to play along, even if you know it's a bad idea. He's been flirting with me this whole time, so I guess he's sort of just broken down my defenses. Once I finish rubbing in the alcohol, I let my paw linger on Leo's hip. We both stay like that for a while, until Leo finally turns around, leaning back against the sink. Do you like my body? I look over his form, his broad chest down to his thick stomach. Ooh. Like what you see? When I look back up at him, his brows are raised, and before I can say anything, he's leaning down. I think he's about to kiss me, so I turn my head to the side, but instead, he just nuzzles into the side of my head as he brings me in for a hug. I freeze for seconds, but relax into his hold after a while, enjoying the feel of his warm fur against mine. He doesn't say anything, just holds me. I can feel his excitement through his pants, ooh, as he presses into me, then starts nibbling at my ear. I gasp as he catches in between his teeth, and I almost moan. He, of course, also knows I have sensitive ears. Okay, that's the game. He moans it in a little in response, and before I know it, he's pulling me up against him. Then he lifts me off the ground as he spins around and sets me up on the sink. Dude, we already moonshine. My head throbs again, and I think I'm about to fall, but into he holds on to me before he begins digging his muzzle into my neck, kissing and licking. I think, after a couple of beers and getting attacked might not be the best time. I gasp and hug around his body, pulling him closer as he licks and nips. Leaning, uh, leaning my throat back, I expose more of my neck to him, closing my eyes as the back of my head presses against the mirror. Leo growls, his paws sliding up under my shirt, feeling my stomach before moving into my chest. To my chest. Fucking hell. He moans it, sounding like he's just scratched an unreachable itch. Like he just had his first drink of water in days. Leo. I gasp, about to tell him to stop, but then his tongue burrows in past my fur to lick to the skin, and my eyes roll. He pulls back, finally, and I lower my gaze to meet his. His tongue is hanging out, making him look a little goofy. I can see a few of my short brown hairs on his tongue. Ew. He starts to lean in again, and this time I don't turn my head away. He almost reaches me. His eyes suddenly flick to the right, looking over my shoulder, and I see shock across his expression. He jumps and spins around, knocking over the soap dispenser and the first aid kit. I jump too. What? Leo continues to stare, one paw clutching his chest, the other digging into my thigh. I wait for him to finish, but it doesn't go on. Did you see something? I thought I did. Just seeing things, I guess. Finally, he turns his attention to the first aid kit and leans over, starting to pick everything back up. So let's just go back there for a hot second. Shadow Leo. Slowly, I slide down from the sink, pushing my shirt back in place, realizing that the moment had passed. While I'm curious as to what he saw, I am also curious of the fact that the break in our intimacy had made things awkward again. Should we check the house? Could be Clint. No, wasn't Clint. Leo grabs his shirt and pulls it back on before turning to me. Just seeing things. I think back to Clint. Well, alright. Or Duke? No, Clint. As he leaves the bathroom, Leo looks back in for a moment before flipping the light off. I think it's a little strange that he makes sure to close the door. Leo doesn't make a move on me again that night, instead keeping a good few inches between us on the bed. Can't help but wonder if I did something wrong. What I do know is that I'm kind of disappointed. But I am too. Thursday. Well, I think that's a good time to call it. All I saw was blackness here, but then I looked over there and it's like, is there red? Looks like there's red stuff. Has it always been there? Well, that's going to be the end of this Let's Play. And I thought it was going to be one of those nice little, we just hang out and have a good time kind of things. But, yeah. Things getting just absolutely heckin'. So, end of this Let's Play. So please comment, guys. Like, comment, tell me what you like, dislike, tips, tricks, always. If you like my YouTube and likes it grow, then please like, subscribe, and check out the rest to help it grow. Please remember to spay your animals to help control the pet population. What was the day that no. I guess we click load. There we go. That was the last day. Skipperoo. What was this? Oh yeah, go in there to check on the thing. And that was Saturday? What a day, Saturday. Well, anyways, yeah, I think I said spay your animals. And if you want to play this game, free on itch.io. But if you want to support the people that make this game, okay, I think like Saturday might have been the last day, though it could have also been Sunday. I'd have to check. If you want to support the people that made this game, go to Patreon. $3 a month. Or other games too. And until next time, we'll play GamerWolfSix of Echo. So thanks and see ya.